There's 5 key actions that we're encouraging through the One Home website. The first one is insulating your home. Now that sounds very boring, but actually it's fantastic because what that does, it does 2 things. It keeps you warm in winter and it keeps you cool in summer. So it stops your inside of your home being the same temperature as the outside, basically. And we're hoping it will stop all the thermostat wars that goes on around the country between husbands and wives, as the women are generally, like me, a bit colder and my husband's always very hot. So, we're trying to reduce our energy bills, save the planet, and improve domestic life, all at the same time, basically. So that's number 1. So that's insulation. Number 2 is an electric car. So petrol and diesel cars are bad for the environment, they're bad for our human health, particularly vulnerable people, young children and elderly. So we need to clean up our air, especially in our cities, and electric cars are fantastic. They have standard ranges of about 100 miles now, so there's no need for range anxiety, and you just plug them in like you do a mobile phone. So there's nothing to worry about in terms of charging and range anxiety. As long as you have an electric socket, then you have a weatherproof cable and you can plug your car in, and most of us only drive our car 5% of the time, so it's easy. Getting an electric car, and they're a third of the price to maintain as well, and they start from about £12,000. Often when you talk about electric cars, people say we can't afford them, but a Zoe is one of the most popular cars in this country, and that's £14,000 to buy new. So they're affordable as well. So it's insulation, electric cars, then visit Great Britain. So this is one of my favourites because it's basically, who wants to take a long haul flight? You catch a cold, you get jet lag, you spend loads of money and you lose a day's holiday. Whereas if you drive to Cornwall, you're basically saving so much in terms of fossil fuels and you're having a better kind of holiday. And it's changed from when we were young. The quality of accommodation, the food experiences, everything, adventures, whatever you like to see, art, visiting Great Britain, it's brilliant. The 4th one is eating less meat, particularly red meat, and having more greens, basically. So ruminant animals like sheep and cows produce a lot of methane, which is particularly bad for the environment. So if you just switch do meat-free Monday, that's one the McCartneys have suggested. It's just one day. Meat-free Monday is one day where you don't eat meat. And then the 5th one is switching your house to green. And that can be, if you have a roof, if you own your own home, putting a solar panel up. They're fantastic. They've come down so much in price. And so from about £4,000 you can get a solar panel, and you make electricity for your home every time, during the daylight. So it's basically free electricity when the sun shines, and it's such a great thing to do. And if you don't own your own home and you're like us, you're in rented, then you can just switch to a green tariff. And normally when people switch to a green tariff, they save about £250 just by switching, because a lot of people stick on the tariff they're currently on, and it's generally the most expensive tariff. So not only are you doing great for the environment, you are basically giving yourself £250 a year in terms of a cash saving. And if you think how many bottles of Prosecco that could be, it's worth doing. It takes 20 minutes and no one will ever switch you off. You're just literally phoning them up with a meter reading. So they're the top 5, basically. So it's electric cars, insulating your home, eating less red meat, visiting Great Britain, and switching to clean energy. They're the top 5 to save the planet, and it also hopefully help you as well.
Great.